Hello there, welcome to another episode of the Allotment Dram. This is a series of short videos where we sit and talk about different whiskies in the surroundings of our North London allotment. And you join me here after a few weeks actually. You've been away on holiday for a little bit, then came back and had to catch up with actual work, and just haven't really had time to come up here for a good, almost 4 weeks actually. So of course everything, started in a heat wave when I left for holiday. And the heat wave broke literally a day or two before I went, and it's been pretty much raining ever since. So everything's grown. I'm here sitting, surrounded by long grass, weeds, and of course a few other things have grown as well. Luckily, some of the crops have grown. So we've got a nice little handful. The first handful of this sort of rainbow chard that I literally planted not long before I went away. So that's come up nicely. Also. Just some apples actually. So apples off a couple of trees we've got are absolutely heaving. The branches are literally like sagging over with the weight of apples. So they've obviously enjoyed the heat and the sort of dryness that we had for much of the sort of summer months. But here, I'm sitting here today and it's a little bit rainy. It's sort of spot-spotting me rain now. Warm enough to have the t-shirt on, but because of the rain I've had to put my jacket on as well. Just a little bit dreary, starting to feel a little bit autumnal as well. But well, that's all very interesting. I'm sure you didn't tune in to hear about the weather in North London or what I've picked. Of course you tuned in to listen to some whiskey reviews. And what is the Allotment Dram today, I hear you ask? Well, it's a brand new whiskey. It's the Talisker Surge, which is exclusive to travel retail, and it's joining their range there. And literally came out a couple of weeks ago, and as regular viewers will know, we do like to review sort of new things, either when we get a sample or a bottle of them. So we were very fortunate to be given, this was used for a tasting very recently, and we were very lucky to be given the rest of the bottle for review and to talk to you about. So very pleased with that. We haven't drunk all of the bottle, just so I'm just feeling like I have to justify that. We haven't drunk all of that in 2 weeks, but yes. So what can I tell you about the Talisker Surge? Why is it called? It's quite a strange name. You might be wondering what it's about. I certainly wondered what it was about, and it's all to do with, all of Talisker's marketing is to do with the fact that they're up there on Skye. It's a very rugged island in the Hebrides. It's very elemental, quite stormy, and when they get this, all their marketing is to do sort of around this, and sort of made by the sea is their tagline. So when they get a big storm coming in, the tide kind of surges in. And this is kind of very loosely linked to what it says on the label, which is like flashes of surging spice, rich honey and berries. So, all sort of loosely linked to the fact that they're up on the rugged island of Skye and the Hebrides. But outside of that, it's been matured. It's different whiskies of different ages. So you're going to have some younger whiskies to give some power and some sort of force to the whiskey, and then you're going to have some older whiskies to kind of give a bit of depth and complexity. That's what happens with a lot of no age statements like this. You have this mix of ages, but all of the whiskies have been matured in American oak, ex-bourbon barrels for their full duration, full maturation, whatever that is. So it's available now in UK airports. It will then appear in Asia, in Asian airports in October, and then moving over to Australia by December. So if you're interested and you fancy a bottle, what's also happening is that Talisker are setting up, to celebrate the launch of Talisker Surge, they're setting up a sample bar in Heathrow Terminal 5. So if you're lucky enough that British Airways don't cancel your flight and you actually manage to get through the mile-long security queue, then in Terminal 5 at Heathrow there will be the sample bar where you can try this in the months of October and November. So it's bottled at 45.8, which is Talisker's traditional strength. You'll find most of their, particularly their core range and the travel retail range, will be bottled at that strength. 45.8% ABV. You very occasionally get, particularly one of the older bottlings, they will be at a different strength, but 45.8%, and it's going to cost about £85, so that's about 95 euros, 115 US dollars. So yeah, if you like the sound of it, if you're going through Terminal 5, have a taste, or if you like the sound of my notes that I'm about to go through, then check it out when you're going through an airport. So here we go. I think we should have a taste. Talisker, a very old distillery. It was established in 1830, and yeah, as it's been raining, I'm just gonna yeah, I do like water with my whiskey sometimes, but not I always like to try things neat first. So yeah, we might add some later, who knows. So here we go. Very nice, lovely a deep golden colour there actually. Very nice, very bright. Let's have a smell. And we've got, yeah, it said about sort of rich honey on the label, and I'm getting that first actually. This sort of honey, sort of, it's not just like a normal sort of honey, it's like quite floral honey, maybe heather honey, something like that. There's some toffee as well, toffee and butterscotch. Hint of vanilla underneath, but of course what you get with Talisker, Talisker is a smoky, peaty style of whiskey, so they make it in this sort of mid-range of smokiness, so it's certainly not as strong as a lot of the Islay whiskies, particularly very heavily peated things like Ardbeg and Lefroy, and it has more peat than something that's quite lightly peated, say like Highland Park from the Orkneys. So yeah, about 30 to 35 ppm, the phenol parts per million, which is the scale that they measure the compound phenol, which gives everything the sort of smoky, peaty sort of aroma and flavour. Put that into context, Ardbeg and Lefroy are about 55 to 60 ppm. Highland Park's about 10 to 15 ppm, so you can see it literally sits right in the middle there. But yeah, very, very nice. It's got a slightly sort of damp, mossy, bit of seaweed, quite sort of medicinal, iodine, and then a sort of slightly flinty, mineralic quality underneath. But that's enough of that. Let's have a taste. It's really quite delicious. All of those elements from the nose really marry together quite nicely. You get the smokiness first, and it definitely feels a bit more mineralic now than, I mentioned it on the nose, but it's definitely there now. And what do I mean by that? It basically means that you have this slightly sort of chalky, flinty quality, and this is backed up by this sort of iodine, the medicinal, slightly ashy, bit of damp seaweed, bit of damp moss, sort of earthiness there as well. But once that kind of starts to dissipate a little bit, you've got some lovely sweetness actually. That heather, floral heather honey, some almost like golden syrup, some toffee, some milk chocolate there as well, a little sprinkling of cocoa. But let's have another taste. Now I'm noticing this Talisker you quite often get with the smokiness, you get this quite sort of peppery quality. So this sort of slight heat, but it's like black pepper, cracked pepper from the pepper mill. And you quite often get that. I'm not quite sure why, but all Taliskers seem to have it. But yeah, what a nice whiskey, and what a treat to try this, like the Talisker Surge, like so early after it's been released as well. There's not going to be many people that have tried it, unless you've been going through an airport in the UK in the last week or two. So yeah, really, really good. And if you like the smoky whiskies, then this has a nice level for you. And if you don't like smoky whiskies, it's of a level that it could be the one that gives you the footstep into the genre actually, because it's there but the smoke kind of mingles with everything else. So you know, very, very nice, very good effort from Talisker there. But I think we'll leave you with that. From myself and Talisker Surge, we will bid you farewell. We will let you get on with doing whatever you were doing before, and we look forward to seeing you again on another Allotment Dram very soon. Hopefully it won't be raining. Cheers!